127 years ago, a naturalist, adventurer, and philosopher named John Muir saw the California Sierra for the first time. He was so moved by what he saw that he came up with his own name for these mountains, the Range of Light. Well, as the story goes, in 1903, he took President Teddy Roosevelt camping. And it was there, by a campfire, under a sequoia, that he made his case for preserving wild lands for future generations. Well, sure enough, by the end of Roosevelt's term, over 148 million acres had been set aside as national parks. Hi, I'm John Viehman. Join me skiing in the backcountry that inspired the national park system as we make our own adventure in the California Sierra on Trailside. This is the California Sierra, and I'm headed up to Rock Creek Lodge, altitude about 10,000 feet. From there, we'll start on a 5-day backcountry ski tour that'll take us south into Rock Creek Canyon. Now, the Sierra is a world-class ski touring destination. For one thing, the moisture from the Pacific rises up the western slopes and turns into an abundant and dependable source of snow. And the peaks and canyons offer terrain and vistas that appeal to skiers of all abilities. I'll be traveling with S.P. Parker and his wife Sue Irwin. S.P. is one of the world's most experienced mountaineers. He's a mountain guide's guide, having climbed and skied all over, including first ascents on Baffin Island, Patagonia, and New Zealand, which is where he was born. Now, Sue's a writer, and she's written extensively about the natural history of this area and about ski touring. She's also a pretty accomplished backcountry skier. Hi, guys.
Morning, John.
Morning.
Hi, John.
Yeah, I recall you guys met down here in Rock Creek Canyon.
Yeah, actually we did. Seem to keep coming back for more.
I've been coming here for a full 15 years now, John, and it's still one of my most favorite places in the world to work and play.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. So what's the drill now?
Why don't you go ahead and put your gear over in that sled?
Okay. Well, we'll be pulling sleds today. And the good thing about sleds is that they let you bring along everything you need to set up a comfortable base camp. And from camp, we'll be wagon wheeling. We're taking short day trips with smaller packs. And sleds really let you have the best of both worlds. A cushy camp and the freedom of movement that makes for some really great skiing. Well, how do we load up here? Any tricks?
Yeah, you want to basically remember to get your heavier gear toward the back and the bottom of the sled, and then put your lighter stuff up front and on the top. So probably food.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And stove and cooking gear.
Right here.
How about that tent?
Tent, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Clothing?
Clothing, right.
Yep.
Do you have a sleeping bag? Put right up front here.
And sleeping pad.
Yeah, we'll do that right at the top and throw in extra things as we go here. Good.
It's also a good idea, John, to put things you're going to need during the day in the day pack here.
Mm-hmm.
That way they're easily accessible.
Yeah, you don't have to unclip from the sled then to get at them too, huh?
Exactly, so no water bottle, lunch, extra clothing, and definitely sunscreen. You're going to need it on a day like today.
Now, how tight do you like to have the harness on this?
Get it fairly snug. You don't want the harness flopping around all over the place, but don't get it uncomfortably tight either. You'll find you can also fine-tune it as you go along.
Okay. Now, the whole time we're pulling these sleds, do we want to have climbing skins on our skis?
The skins are going to be essential for the type of trip we're doing. We've got a lot of weight in the sled, so we're going to need grip not only on the uphills, but also on the flats.
We'll have the skins off when we're heading down the canyon, but when you're on the flats or the uphills, you have to take advantage of the nap, which gives you some forward glide, but then a lot of grip.
So what makes this place such a great area to go backcountry skiing?
Well, you're getting a taste of it right now. It's just gorgeous, and it's so accessible. The high backcountry, the real drama. And it's not that hard to get in. It's not a big pull to get way back into the backcountry. Predictable snowpack, good weather. I don't think you can beat it.
I'll go ahead and break trail. It'll make it a lot easier for you too.
Thanks, SP.
Watch out for the tree well there that the sleds don't slide in.
How's the sled holding up?
Good.
Oops. A little bit of a rise here. I'll mash it down for you.
Okay.
Enjoying the scenery, John?
Yeah. Looks like it's opening up here. Think we'll get a view?
Oh, we'll definitely get a view, and there's also a good reason why it's opening up here. We're crossing an avalanche path here.
Now, how do you know that?
There's a number of signs to look for. If you look around, you'll see in this area here there's just a lot of small trees. They're leaning downhill, they're lacking branches on their uphill side. If you look carefully, you also see some down big trees and some stumps standing up where things have been broken off. This slide actually happened in 1986.
I have to admit, I think I've figured out everything there is to pulling a sled on skis, and it boils down to two words: moan and groan.
I think it's a lot better than the alternative huge backpack for this kind of weight.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Bringing all this gear and putting it on your shoulders and then trying to ski at the same time, now that's some work.
Well, we're done pretty much with the uphill now. We're going on down to the lake. It's going to be nice and flat across the lake. It'll make for easy pulling. So if anybody wants, I'll take their sled then.
Typical.
Yeah. Well, timing is everything in skiing, right?
Right. As in everything.
Now, this may be a little late to be asking this question, and I know you know what you're doing, but how do you know the ice is safe out here?
It's okay, John. The ice actually formed here about 4 months ago, and since then we've gotten a lot of snow on top that's insulated the ice. Temperatures have also stayed well below freezing. So it's safe. But as we come into spring and temperatures warm up, we're going to have to be a lot more careful, and if there's any doubt, we don't cross it.
I like the looks of this for a campsite, SP. What do you think?
Let's see. Looks good to me. Certainly not going to beat the view anywhere.
No, I don't think so.
A little far from the stream, but that's not going to matter. Get a little protection from the wind here unless it gets really bad. It'll do.
Well, choosing a campsite with access to water is usually pretty important. But in this case, because of the sleds, we were able to bring along a second stove for melting snow. A second stove also makes cooking a lot easier, but you can't cook without a kitchen.
Okay guys, I'll mark out the kitchen here, then come give us a hand to dig it out. This line here is the back, or part of our seats. Center here is going to be table. Okay, this looks like a pretty good table, so just go ahead and we'll dig out the passageway there. Alrighty, John. Just preserve that
right
for
here.
a while.
I guess it's a pretty good idea to do this early while the snow's still easy to work with, huh? Because the temperature drops so much at
It
night.
shouldn't take too long to get dug.
We'll have plenty of time for this to set up. Temperature's dropping. We're gonna have a nice hard kitchen before long.
Yeah. Looking good.
Yeah, I think so. Looks real good.
I think I can smell dinner.
So shiitake mushrooms.
I'm glad you're the chef, not me.
With a kitchen like this and a 2-stove setup, there's really no excuse not to have a great meal out here. And tonight, we're going to have polenta con funghi, which is how Italians would say cornmeal with mushrooms. Now you begin by boiling some water. And that's where your second stove comes in handy, because out here we're going to be melting some snow. Now melting snow sounds pretty much like a no-brainer, but there's actually a trick to it. You want to make sure you have about a ½ inch of water in the bottom of your pot before you add your snow. Otherwise, the heat will quickly evaporate the snow and burn the bottom of your pot. Now next, you put sliced red onion into a skillet of heated olive oil, which is on your other stove. And then you just saute until it's clear. Earlier, I made a mixture of shiitake mushrooms, some rosemary, parsley, sage, a few dried chilies, and a clove or two of crushed garlic. I'd covered it with some boiling water and a little bit of red wine, and then just set it aside to soften. Actually, the longer the better. Then you just add that to your onions and stir. Okay, while that's going on, let's move over here to our boiling water. You want to add a generous amount of olive oil, and then stir in your cornmeal, but stir it in very gradually. And this is really important, or else you're just going to get a bunch of lumps. Okay, and you reduce the heat, and you just stir constantly for several minutes until it gets good and thick. And once the polenta is thickened, it's ready to serve. You just dish it up in a bowl, put the mushrooms on top.
This smells really fabulous, John.
Okay.
Too.
All right, who wants to go first?
Oh, thanks.
Just add your Parmesan there if you like.
Little wine, John?
Oh, you bet. Gotta have Chianti. Well, come on, Sue. The suspense is killing me.
Outdid yourself.
All right.
Sue?
Great mushrooms. Thank you.
Okay.
Here you go, SP.
Oh, great. Thanks.
A little Parmesan. Hey, I'd kind of like to go out and practice my telemark technique before we head out for the day. You think we can do that somewhere around here?
Yeah, actually, I was just looking over at these slopes here. They look like they might get pretty interesting. I'd like to do the same.
Sure. Let's just finish our coffee and head on out.
Sounds like a plan.
Now watch as he comes down. Look at his hands. He's going to keep them low as he turns. Whole time. He's getting that knee out real aggressively. He comes down, pushing out on it. He's got good control of the back ski. Okay, ready to go over it again?
Sure.
Okay. On your traverse sections, keep nice and low. Yeah, with your knees, not your waist. Okay, and hands forward.
Okay.
Orient yourself down the hill so you keep track of where you're heading. Okay.
All right.
Now, when you're ready to initiate your turn, come up, slide it forward, come down on that knee.
Okay.
Now, the lower you go, the more stability you're going to have keeping this back leg in place. You want to have the heel up. You want to be on the ball of your foot, not the toe.
Okay.
It gives you a little bit of weight on it so you can control it. Okay, you're going to have to edge onto the inside.
Okay.
Edge of your skis as you're carving the turn.
And just turn downhill.
Not too much body rotation. Just keep your eyes down the hill. Come back up as your curves through. Get into a good athletic stance and comfortable.
Okay, well, let me give it a try.
Don't be afraid to get aggressive. Okay, John, keep your eyes down the hill. That's right, aggressive. Whoa, parallel. Drop real low, keep your knee forward. Yes.
Whoa! Well,
You see how you're leaning against the hill when you finish the turn?
yeah, I got to work on that
Yeah.
side. It's nice snow though, it's nice and soft.
Want to take a look and see where we're going to go today?
Sure.
We'll head on up into the canyon a little more. I'll show you on the map here. Okay, let's see. We're just down here at Rock Creek Lake. We're going to cut on up the back side of the lake here, up through the trees. Great skiing, pretty. And up here we get in the John Muir Wilderness. We'll go right across Mac Lake and head on up to Marsh Lake there, and that'll be our destination. As you can see from the map, this canyon runs pretty much north-south, and that's unique amongst canyons in the Sierra Nevada, which are normally running east-west.
Mm-hmm. So we're basically going to the left of that tree towards that distinctive peak out there in the horizon?
Mm-hmm. And we can use Bear Creek Spire most of the day for navigation because it is so distinctive. And I think we'll find we won't see any trail markers with this much snow.
Okay, well
Yeah.
let's load up the day packs.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice to not have to pull a sled for a change.
Yeah, no kidding.
How's it going back there, guys?
Pretty good. These skins are really doing their job.
Yeah, I'm cutting a pretty steep line up this slope.
And mine are working fine too.
Might want to try what I'm doing here, John. I put your downhill hand on top of the pole, slide your uphill down the pole a little bit. Gives you a lot more stability.
Oh yeah.
If we were going up for a much longer time, we just shorten up one of the poles and switch off as our traverses.
We must be at about 10,000 feet by now.
Oh, be a touch over here.
You know, coming from sea level, I can really start to feel it every now and then. You know, you come up with a little bit short of a breath. How do you deal with it?
There's a couple of real simple things you can do. The simplest is just to make sure you drink a lot of liquids. Up here, you should probably be drinking 4 or 5 quarts of water. Watch your edges on this, it's getting a little firmer. Now really dig them in, get some good purchase just across that steep section. This is where putting that hand on top really gives you some security and balance.
The other thing you'll find in the elevation is that the sun is just much more brutal than down at sea level, so you have to really pay attention to wearing a good sunscreen all day.
Uh-huh. I'll bet the snow really magnifies the effect of it too.
It magnifies the effect and it gives you some effects that you wouldn't expect, like under your chin and on your ears, places that you wouldn't normally think you'd get sunburned. And I've seen some people with some pretty bad problems, even the roof of their mouth sunburned.
So how often do you put it on? Like a couple times a day maybe?
I do it more often, every 2 hours at least. Maybe more, it depends on your skin. Even really thin clothing, you can burn through the clothing.
The other thing to remember here is eye protection. You want a good quality pair of sunglasses like you've got. The ones you pick up at the local checkout counter at the dime store won't do it. Just because they're dark doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You want something that'll absorb the UV.
Well, what would you do if you lost your sunglasses out here?
I always carry a spare pair with me because it's pretty easy to stand on them, pretty easy to lose them. But if you lose them, you can always resort to the old Eskimo trick. Take a piece of cardboard, piece of duct tape, cut a couple of eye slits in it and put it over your eyes. It's not pretty, but it works.
It'll keep you from getting snow blindness, which you don't want.
No, we're not digging another kitchen. This is called a Rooch block test, which is a simple way to evaluate the snow conditions for an avalanche hazard.
This is a test that was developed by the Swiss military. It's just a quick, fast way for a skier to be able to determine if a slope is going to be probably safe to cross or whether there might be an avalanche problem.
Okay, now that we've dug all this out, what can you tell me about the snow condition?
We've dug just about down to ground level here, and that's given us a complete cross-section through all the winter snowfall. Up top here, we've got the last couple of snowfalls, and they're sitting on top of this icy layer here from earlier. What I might be worried about is this sliding on top of the ice and giving us an avalanche.
Pit already passed the first part of the test by not caving in as we're digging it here. So next we're going to send a skier up top to straddle these two trenches, and we'll really put the pit through its paces with a series of jumps. See if we can get it to slide at all. I think that skier should be you, John.
Oh, thanks a lot, guys.
Okay, keep coming across there, John, until you get your tips right over in this trench over here.
Jeez.
Yeah, keep coming over. Yeah. You're making the fourth side of the block here.
Okay.
Tips across.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just the end of phase 2. So
Okay,
sit
we're
tight.
done, right?
Now sit tight for a little bit here.
Okay.
Okay.
One sort of knee bend, little bounce.
One little bounce?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ready?
we'll call that about. Hang on, don't go anywhere. We're not done yet. Okay.
Phase
All right.
4.
One jump.
A jump?
Yeah, up and down.
Give it a
One
real
jump,
good
just
jump.
Bam, down. Yeah.
Ah, it held. Okay.
We got one more to go.
Phase 5.
Man.
Yeah. Rather you than me, okay? Okay. Up and down. Number of bounces.
A number of them?
Yeah.
Like
3,
a wild
4.
man.
Oh, boy.
Okay, let's go.
Harder.
Great.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, good job. It looks like it held.
Yeah. Okay, so we can go skiing?
Yep, let's head on up. The slope doesn't look too bad. Things are fairly stable.
Good job, John.
Well, I can't tell you how honored I am to be your avalanche
Our
tester.
guinea
Okay,
pig.
well, you can do the next one too.
Well, you guys promised me a view, and you sure didn't disappoint me.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get tired of this canyon.
Yep, it's pretty nice. Out over there, we've got Ruby Lake. That's where we'll maybe go tomorrow. Out towards the left, we've got Mount Abbott, Mount Dade, Bear Creek Spire. Then this big chunky thing behind us here is Mount Morgan.
We're basically just ringed by peaks that are well over 13,000 feet high.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boy, it'd be a long time before you could ski all these.
Definitely.
Well, guys, let's get those skins off and
Hey,
get out of here.
hold on.
I'm ready.
Hey,
Yeah.
SP, wait up.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Snow seemed to be getting kind of variable on that last downhill. Looks like we all
yeah.
took a little bit of header.
I got my share of falls in.
Yep, but it was still just another classic Sierra Gully ski.
Yeah, you called that one right. A classic run, and this is a classic Sierra trip. A cushy camp, great food, clear blue skies, a great day trip, fast and light. Hey, I even learned to telemark. And now, the only problem is choosing from one of at least 100 great runs up at Ruby Lake tomorrow. And then, of course, there's the day after tomorrow, and the day after that, and, well, I guess we should all have such problems. See you next time on Trailside. Hey guys, what's for dinner tonight?
Well, you did such a great job on it last night, I figured you could do it again tonight, huh?
purpose, John?
Oh, sorry, Sue, I missed.
Available now. A complete series of trailside guides from W.W. Norton. These informative books are fully illustrated and filled with color photography. Titles include hiking and backpacking, bicycling, kayaking, cross-country skiing, and winter adventures. To purchase, call 1-800-TRAILSIDE, 1-800-872-4574, $17.95 each plus $3.95 shipping and handling. Trailside is brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks. Next time you're having fun outdoors, remember, you're not alone. And LL Bean, providing sporting gear and apparel for people who love the outdoors for over 80 years. And Weider Nutrition Group, makers of Tiger Sport bars. Nutrition for your body, fuel for your sport.